So, seeing as this other Pokemon video I'm working on is taking far longer than I liked, and I'm only missing like 4 more Pokemon from Hoenn, I thought I'd finally do my top 10 Gen 3 Pokemon, which should be relatively short. So, there's that for you. Alright, let's do it. Number 10 is Swampert. I originally didn't start with Mudkip. Well, actually, maybe I did. I originally started with, Torchic in my Sapphire version. And I don't know if I did Mudkip or not, but over the years he's grown on me, and Swampert kind of is my go-to one now. I don't know why. I guess I just stopped liking Blaziken as much, and I kind of dig Swampert now. But, yeah, so, Swampert, because I tend to have a tendency to use him. Number 9 is Sableye, and I didn't really ever have a big love for Sableye until my most recent playthrough, Sapphire, where I decided to use a Sableye, because the motherfucker has no weaknesses, so pretty much just he rapes everybody. Goes dark, fucks everybody because he's awesome. And he's like a little goblin thing. Number 8 is Mariana, and he's probably my favorite dog Pokemon, to be honest. I don't think I've ever really used one to play through, but I always like him. I usually probably end up with one by the end of the game. So, yeah, Mariana, it's pretty cool. Number 7 is one of my favorite tree dwellers, Shifty. I'm not sure why. I think because he's an owl and I like owls. And he's got big samurai sandals on, so can you really go wrong? That's what I thought. Number 6 is Rhyhorn, because he's like a metal Rhyhorn, and absolutely love Rhyhorn. And so Rhyhorn's another obvious choice. Dig Aggron too, but I think I just gotta give my love to Rhyhorn, just because it resembles Rhyhorn so much. Yeah. Number 5 is Corphish. I love Corphish's evolved form, but I think, I just like Corphish a little more, just because of his character. Granted, not every Corphish is like Ash's, but I like to think mine is. And he's, I don't know. He's like Krabby, but a little less badass and a little more weird, more anime-like. He resembles a real crab a little less. Well, he's not a crab now, he's a crawfish. And I had a real pet crawfish for a while. That's probably why. There you go. It all comes back around. Number 4, in the Pokemon that I normally didn't like when I first started, is Vigoroth. I really only started to like Vigoroth more as years went on. I never had one though, because you had to deal with Slackoth, and I didn't care for Slack King either. Like, to me, Vigoroth was the perfect one. So only recently have I ever got one, and even like really wanted to use one. And he reminds me a lot of my brother, because that's one of my brother's favorite Pokemon. So yeah, next time I play Ruby, definitely gonna be using one throughout the game, because my brother used one. And yeah, my fondness for Vigoroth has only grown, because every time I see him now I think of my brother. So if I ever do a Let's Play of that, expect to see Vigoroth, and if he isn't, be sure to yell at me and be like, why the fuck aren't you using Vigoroth, bro? Number 3, that was really loud, I'm sorry, is Swampert. I don't know, I think he's just a really badass version of Ekans. So it's kind of a shame he never got an evolved form, but I was always okay with it, just because I think he was cool enough to not really need one, per se. I'm never really bummed out when really cool Pokemon don't have evolutions, because I feel like then you just risk fucking them up, like certain Pokemon out there. Can't think of any off the top of my head. Venusaur. There it is. Probably prime example. But, so, for me it never bothered me that he didn't have an evolution. That's my phone. I mean, that's my communicator. Jason David Frank, 2013. Number 2 is, Zangoose. I've only played through with the Zangoose once, primarily because my first version was Sapphire, and then I got Ruby a little later. But I think I've only beaten Ruby actually like one time through, and that was when I like rebought it because there was no Sapphires that I could buy, and I saw Ruby and I was like, well, I'll buy Ruby. So I've beaten Ruby once and Sapphire twice, and the one time that I beat Ruby, I actually did use a Zangoose. And I don't know, I think he's just he's a really cool Pokemon, and I like how Zangoose and Seviper have a rivalry, even though it doesn't really make sense because the scar on him is from a Seviper, so what, every Zangoose has a scar from a Seviper? Like, really? Like, there's not one that just got lucky and didn't get scarred? Like, they're born and instantly fucking Seviper just comes up and Achoo! And like fucking scars him? Like, I don't know, it doesn't make any sense, but he's still really cool looking. And he's a really good Pokemon, like, he's like the best normal type, in my opinion. Fucking voice cracking. Best normal type, I think, in my opinion. Number 1. And one of my favorite Pokemon of all time is, well, I shouldn't say that, but I did, is Armaldo. I know nobody really liked the fossil Pokemons. Shit. I know nobody really liked the fossil Pokemon in Ruby and Sapphire, not a lot of people, but I actually think they're my favorite so far, to be honest. I love Credilli and Lily, and Armaldo and his Priev that I'm Anorith. I don't know, I love Armaldo. I think he's just such a good Pokemon. Whenever I've used him, I've done really well in battles, and yeah, even though like something will be super effective against them, they'll do like no damage, at least to mine. And I've owned 2 now, raised 2 of them like really high or whatever. And I don't know, I think he's just a really cool Pokemon. There's not a lot of cool, I guess, like Scorpions. I don't know if he's, I guess I don't really know what he is, but I don't know, I've just always loved Armaldo. I feel like my best friend at the time when we played Pokemon picked the plant, and I picked Armaldo. Even though we both loved the game so much that we ended up with all of them for the most part anyways. But Armaldo is definitely one of my go-to Pokemon in battle for sure. So, number 1, Armaldo. Even though he's kind of derpy, I don't know, he's just always had my back, and I don't know, I just think he's a really cool Pokemon, and for the love of God, do not give him a fucking Mega Form, because it will fucking suck. It won't be cool. Or give him one so he can rape, even better. Armaldo, 2013, Mega Form.